Builder's Business Black Belt has been absolutely fantastic for my business. We wouldn't have survived without the help of Mick and Julie.
I'm here to tell you that I've experienced all the lows in business, and I'm here and it's all right. And looking back on it, I'm actually glad they happened. They made me a better person and stronger.
So important to have someone that you trust. But if you had found a builder who had a great website, the fat roller was kind of like hanging over my pajamas. I was kind of like, oh man. And I had crow's feet and like my skin was all dry.
It's just full of gold nuggets all over the place. Thanks, James, for being on the show.
Soda water? What are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I'm going to get drunk on this soda water tonight. Watch me swing from the rafters here. Yeah, no, I'm actually taking a break for a while. I've been feeling pretty good. I've lost a bit of weight, so yeah, I'm on the sparkling waters tonight. But let's go crazy. I'll go toe to toe with you. Yeah. You drink a beer, I'll drink a soda water, and everything will be fine. Oh, all right, great, cool.
Because the car won't run without the petrol, and we don't apply that same logic to.
Okay, now you're a freaking weirdo, all right? You know my books and sequence. If you have a freaking poster of me above your bed, I wouldn't be surprised. So,
yeah. And in a good way. Yeah. Because you don't want the holiday.
Yes, we definitely have done the right thing. Let's get moving and let's keep up the momentum and keep moving forward as much and as fast as we can to see where we can go with this.
For me, I feel like I'm fresh in the business. I feel like now that I'm excited again, and like I was when I first started, I'm excited to see where it's going to take us. Just loving the overall building industry again.
As I said, it's changed my life, not just the business. So it's life changing.
Probably a bit like Phil, it's changed my life more so than the business. Like I said before, the business is my life, but this has changed my whole attitude towards the building industry. 20 weeks ago, I was ready to jump under a bus. I was sick of it. I've been doing this for so many years. It wasn't getting where I wanted it to be. Now I can see the projection. Everything looks up. Everything looks positive. Yeah, and I'm renewed. I'm ready to start again. Let's see how I go in 20 years.
Yeah,
laughing.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mick, because you're one of the. Like I said, you're the leader. You're the one that did put me on this track, and thank you once again. I know I thank you a lot, but thank you once again.
That's all right. Just before we go, are those fish they very expensive to keep behind you? Do they eat a lot? Do they die very often?
Well, it's an interesting question. I mean, obviously, it's a YouTube video. I can't afford the fish.
It's a pleasure walking life's path with you, Nick.
I've been with the Builder's Business Black Belt in various forms over the last 14 or 15 years.
One of the biggest ones and one of the main reasons that I joined BBB was to do with the problem of coding.
This is a complete mindset change, you know, of how things are done, what should be the normal. The flow-on effect from that through the business and through your own personal life has been, you know, in just a few, 12 weeks has been amazing.
Consistent caring, I think, is what makes this group rather special. I'm so privileged to be part of it.
And that's one of the things that we look forward to, or we used to before COVID anyway.
So when people say more turnover will make my business healthier, I say, liar! No, you gotta bitch slap people and wake them up. Because listen.
This is the Builders Business Success Podcast for builders who want to attract more quality clients who aren't price focused, eliminate cash flow pressure, and get paid for every quote.
But I'm ready
Here's
to
your
go.
host,
I don't want to
Mick
wait to go. I'm talking over the top of the introduction. I'm very keen today. Didn't even wait to get the "and we're live" signal. I just started yabbering. That was because someone was talking to me and just put me completely off my game. But I'm on it now. So welcome to the Builders Business Success Podcast, episode 60. That's only in this format. Like, we've done a lot before this, but in this particular format, we're up to episode 60, which is a bit of a milestone. If you've never listened to, watched, participated, engaged in any of these before, the whole idea of it is to address common and costly, and when I say costly, costly money-wise, costly time-wise, costly emotional-wise, problems in the running of a building business. And everything that we share with you here is tried and tested. It's not just theory. We've got a whole bunch of builders that we work with. We talk to them every day, and stuff gets put into practice, and we get feedback and refine things as we go. So it's it's just not coming out of my brain and out of my mouth. It's stuff that really has been implemented, and we know that works. If you're watching us live, I'd love you to put hashtag live in the comment section. So you could be watching anywhere. You could be watching on 2 different Facebook platforms, one of 3 different Facebook platforms. Did I say YouTube? I didn't say YouTube. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. I'm one of 2 YouTube platforms and one of 3 Facebook platforms. You could be watching absolutely anywhere. But if you are watching live, I just want you to put hashtag live in the comment section. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. That would be wicked. Thank you very much. If you've got any comments or questions that you want to ask while we are live, you can pop them in the comment section. And in theory, the technology should show me, and I might be able to answer it live. So there you have it. What are we talking about today? Well, last week we talked about what is your priority, and we unpacked this whole idea of what a priority was and so forth. This week, it's what is your product? And when I think about what is your priority, like knowing what your product is really up there as far as priority is concerned. It should be something that you're very, very clear about, that you talk about, refine, enhance every single day with yourself and your team. Very, very important. So we're going to be covering that. If you know what your product is, it can be very, very beneficial for the success of your business. If you think you know what it is, but you don't really know what it is, that can be very detrimental to your business. So it'd be a good idea to just check this episode out and make sure that you do know what your product is. Q&A. There's a question about how to incentivize staff. So I'm going to be addressing that question. How do you incentivize your team members to get better productivity from the team? And also we'll be covering the idea of the week, so we can get a close-up eventually of the light bulb, because like it's magic. Look, I can stick my finger under there and it's floating in midair. Isn't that incredible? So the only reason that we have a segment, idea of the week, is because I came across this floating light bulb and I thought we've got to use it. Hopefully you'll get a value out of the idea of the week as well. But anyway, off we go. Let's get stuck into this. So what is your product is the topic of conversation. Most builders think the building, the house that they built at the end of the driveway, or their skills, their knowledge, all of that sort of stuff is what they're being paid for. And yeah, in a sense you are, but if that's what you think your product is, there's a whole lot of disadvantages from focusing in on thinking that the building, your skills, your knowledge is the product. The client's expectation is very, very different to what most builders think it is. And all you need to do is look on many builders' websites and have a look at what it's talking about. Like, they do address, we listen to the customer and that sort of stuff sometimes, but predominantly it is about us. Here at Business X, and it's all focused in on the business and what they do and how they do it and how experienced they are and all of this sort of stuff. And quite often it talks about, we use the highest quality materials and we use our experience and our knowledge and very skilled tradesmen, and we've been around for 1 million years and all of this sort of stuff. Here's the thing, folks, is that from the client's point of view, the quality and your skill and ability isn't a feature, it's not a benefit, and it doesn't add value from the perspective of the customer. It's just expected. And there's no value, there's no use talking about it and making it a big point. And what I'm going to suggest here is, if you base the focus of your business on this next assumption, I think things will turn around. I think it will make a big difference. And here it is. When you're talking about your prospect/client, remember this, that they won't remember what you said or what you did. They remember how you made them feel. All right, I'll say that again. They won't remember what you said or what you did. They will remember how you made them feel. So having clients who love you because you make them feel how they want to feel is going to eliminate an absolute raft of common problems. And remember that the premise of this show is based on the elimination of costly, common problems that builders experience. And this one thing can be massive in eliminating a lot of those costly and common problems. Plus, it makes the business super enjoyable. When you've got really good clients and really great, interesting projects, and it's profitable and the team are enjoying what they're doing and they're efficient and effective and loyal and all of this sort of stuff, business can be a lot of fun. Many builders I talk to aren't necessarily having a whole lot of fun. And so just changing your perspective on this one thing can have a profound impact on your business. So this can help your business in absolutely every area. You just need to understand how having the right mindset and the right understanding of really what your product is in each of the areas of your business. That's the thing that's going to make the biggest difference. So when I say each of the areas of the business, what I'm talking about is the attract, one area, the qualify, another area, the deliver plus, another area, and the scale and customers experience and your mindset is another area. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about there, the quick overview is attract replaces marketing, qualify replaces sales, deliver plus replaces the build, and scale replaces the standard garden variety mindset about how to improve yourself and your business and make it more profitable. If you want more detail about any of those things, in the past months, we did a whole soup to nuts conversation, a whole series of these podcasts that covers absolutely everything that we talk about in Black Belt. So you can go back and find the different ones for those 4 areas of the business and get a deeper understanding. But when you understand what your product is, is how that affects your attract is pretty profound. Just noticed we've got a comment from one of our black belt members, Mr. Hugh Baggs. That's not his real name. It's just what everyone calls him, Mr. Baggs. So he's asked a question. What if I don't know where my mindset sits? Hugh asks lots of very weird questions. I'll be speaking to Hugh in about 49 minutes from now. So you can ask that question again because I don't even understand it. So we'll address that in our momentum call. So how does knowing what your product is affect attract? So in the area of attract, by knowing what your product is from your prospect's point of view can make a profound difference. So what you need to understand is that your product, sorry, I'm stammering and stumbling, your product is your customer's experience. I've neglected to say that all the way through, so the whole thing I've done so far might not have been making sense. But it's not your skills, it's not your knowledge, it's not the house that you build, it is the customer's experience. That is your product. And when you understand that and you have a focus on improving your product, you're constantly monitoring the quality of your customer's experience and figuring out ways to make it better. Now, in the space of attract, your customer isn't your customer yet. They are your prospect. But you still need to know what your product is in relation to your prospect's mindset. And at that point, and just I'm going a little bit off script here, in this attract process, and I want to break that down in a future episode, there are kind of 3 parts that you need to understand in this attract process, and the prospect's purpose, the prospect's desires, the prospect's focus changes as it goes through these 3 different parts of your attract strategy. So I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's very, very simple once you understand it. But what I'm talking about now is just getting that prospect aware that you exist. And in that case, understanding that the prospect is excited at that point. The key to understanding this is and creating the content that you're putting out there on your social medias and email lists, if you've got one of those as well, which I highly recommend, needs to enter into the conversation that they're already having in their own mind. You're not interrupting the conversation and say, hey, here I am, we do this, we're wonderful, we're amazing, we've been around forever and we'll look after you and da-da-da-da-da. The key is to enter into the prospect's mind and enter into that conversation that they're already having. And that conversation changes the more they become aware of you and what you're about. So that's why there's these 3 levels that we'll talk about in another episode. Somebody has just put in #live, which is really great because they're watching us live. I just don't know who that somebody is. But that somebody knows who that somebody is. And what I'd like you to do, if you would be so kind, there's another link in the chat where you entered that, and I think it's Restream chat something restream.io/FB for Facebook. If you click on that, please, that gives us permission to see who you are, just so I can give you a shout out, mention you by name, and know who's spying on us with this live podcast. Love you to do that. So in attract, you're entering into the conversation that your ideal prospect is already having in their own mind. Hugh said it was Matt with the hat. Okay, another black belt member. Right, the black belt members are all over it here today. Welcome, lads. See you again in a little while. In the qualified process, they're still a prospect, so they haven't become a client, but the qualified process is the journey between prospect and client. And through that journey, your product is focused on Again, delivering a high quality experience for your prospects so they will become a client. I'm thinking about 20,000 different things at once here. And so what they are needing, what they're really after is feeling supported by you, feeling that they can trust you, feeling that you have their back. Because in most relationships between prospects and builders, there is distrust, folks. You can disagree with me all you like, but the bottom line is why it always is difficult, why it falls apart, why I get so many requests to, can you help me get more quotes accepted? The reason is low trust. And they don't care. This is an old sales saying. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the process through the quality client pathway, or the qualified process, needs to be focused on having them feel that they can trust you by you supporting them, by you understanding them, by you listening to them at a really deep level. So you need to know what your product is in that space as well, the customer experience. But what does the customer want? Then we move into the Deliver Plus. And so when we're doing the build, they're now a client. The customer experience is absolutely tantamount. Again, that is your product. It's not the hard work that you're doing on site and all of that sort of stuff. You may think it is, but it's not. It is the product. You can build an amazing high quality end product. Matt has just done the thing and I can see him in the comments now. So you can create this amazing thing, but if something goes wrong with the relationship and the trust is violated or expectations aren't met in some way, the whole project gets tarred with that one experience. So we can't afford it. And so in the Deliver Plus, in the build, we need to make sure that at very minimum, we are delivering on the expectations. Where do we find out what those expectations are? We find out throughout the previous processes. There's a very step-by-step process that we talked about in previous episodes. You can go back, listen to that. That gives you the understanding of what you need to do to go through that process. And understand what their expectations are, then deliver on them. That's just the first bit. But just if you did that, things would be a lot different. Then there is this plus. The plus is the thing that blows them away. And again, that comes from understanding what your customers' interests are, their passions are. And there's a few little things you can do to surprise them where they go, holy crap, where did that come from? How do they remember this stuff? This is amazing. And that's what they start to remember, because you are making them feel. It doesn't matter what you do, particularly, behind the walls and under the floor and above the ceiling. Like, they can't see it. So it doesn't matter what you do. The key is, how did you make them feel? That is your product. Then there's the handover. And a very, very good friend of mine once said, that's when the sale starts. At handover. Think about that for a moment. That's when the sale starts. And in most building businesses, it's all finished by then. They give them a basket of goodies and go, pat them on the back, and that was great, see you later. Do you have any referrals for me? That sort of stuff. What you need to do is have a nurture process in place where you are constantly and consistently, still years and years after the handover, delivering value to your past prospects and keeping your name in front of their face, but by delivering value, because then they start to become part of your attract strategy team. And when people do call you because somebody else mentioned your name, you are tapping into the trust that relationship already has, and you're starting off on a really good footing to put them through that whole process that we just talked about back in the full circle of the attract strategy. So I hope all of that makes sense. And I really want you to change your mindset and stop focusing on that, what you're building each day is your product. That's the commodity. That's the thing. The product that you're being paid for, believe it or not, is the quality of your customer experience, how you made them feel. That's the thing that they're going to remember for a long time. That's the thing they're going to talk about every time someone says, what was it like? What's that builder like? They don't ask about their skills and abilities. They ask, what was the builder like? And the responses are always, oh, he was really great. He really listened. He turned up on time. He did this. He suggested that. You know, we could really trust him. We had our back. All of that sort of thing. That's what they're talking about. So that's what you need to be focused on. That's what you need to be having conversations with your team about every day, at least every week in your weekly team meeting. What are the things that we can do to blow our customers' socks off and start to get a whole library of ideas and start to implement those ideas and surprise your customers so you begin to build a remarkable business, a business that is remarked upon without being asked into the future. That is the secret. So again, I hope this makes sense. And if you want help with any of this, I've put a link in the comments in Facebook. Not sure whether there's one in YouTube, but there will be one if you're watching the replay. We'll put it in the comment section. And you just hit that link and that will get you in touch with us, and you can book a short call and we can find out about your business, where it is right now, where do you want to take it, what's in the way, and we will point you in the right direction to the resources that you need to go where you want to go. And everybody's different, and trying to find it yourself is, you know, it's really like mining for the gold. There's a lot of dirt you've got to move to get to the gold. We know where the gold is. All we need is a bit of information from you where you are, and we can direct you to that gold. It's just a short conversation. Hit the link. Let's have a chat, and we'll be getting you on your way towards the business that you've always wanted before you know it. So let's talk. Hit the link, and let's have a conversation. Q&A time. Going to rip through this real quick because I just looked at how many minutes we've got left. The question was, how do you incentivize staff? I kind of know how you don't. And the common thing, if you ask the staff, they will say money. Most people think that money is the incentivizer. Is that have I just invented a word, or is that a real? I'm not sure, but incentive might be the correct word. The incentivizer. I am the incentivizer. So you've got to make sure that people aren't suffering from financial stress. So they need to feel like that they're being appropriately remunerated, but then to go to the next level of productivity and efficiency and contribution and all of that sort of stuff, money really doesn't cut it. That's like sometimes it's often destructive. A great resource is the book called The Carrot Principle, and it's all about recognizing excellence and effort. And it gives you a whole lot of examples of how you can have your people feel like they're really appreciated. And the majority of the time, like, there is a cost involved, but it's not cash. Sometimes there is no cost involved from a cash point of view, and it's really, really valuable and appreciated by your team. But sometimes there is an expenditure by the business, but it's not giving them the cash. That doesn't work very well at all. So something I would suggest is get into the Carrot Principle. Also learn about this thing called the 6 human needs. We teach our guys this all of the time. It's so powerful. You can jump onto the interwebs and Google the 6 human needs and start to learn about it. Again, if you want to learn a little bit more about it, get in touch with us. Let's have a conversation, and we can point you in the right direction to find the resources you need for that. But it's been proven that emotional rewards are far more effective than money. So you need to learn how to do that. And in the Carrot Principle, it will teach you how to schedule it, even to make sure that you're just not doing random acts of appreciation, that you are focused. It becomes part of your priority on a daily basis to help your team feel better, feel appreciated, do better, all of that sort of stuff, and contribute to the helping you build your business. I've just made a note there that often money has the opposite effect, particularly once they start to get used to it. That you might have given bonuses for a great performance or a great outcome at some stage, and it might have happened a couple of quarters in a row, and then it becomes an expectation, and then you become the ogre because you're not giving it the third quarter because we didn't make the numbers or whatever it might be, but subconsciously it's expected. And so now what was working as an incentive to appreciate their efforts in the past is now detrimental to morale in the future. The other note that I made for myself is, all that said, make sure that they're not suffering from money stress, but I said that at the beginning. So I hope that answers your question. How to incentivize your staff. I think it really comes down to treating them like they're a client, and understanding what their passions are, their interests are, and make it known to them. Just don't think it, that you appreciate their efforts, and show that appreciation in a multitude of different ways. Read the carrot principle. Again, just a quick reminder, if you're watching live, if you haven't already done it, put hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay. Idea of the week. What is the idea of the week? I was reading back through my notes, and you can see that I'm doing something down here with my finger. I'm scrolling the iPad to go through my notes, and I was thinking that everything that we're talking about is something that is really in your control, but it's everything that we're talking about is it's swimming in the opposite direction to the tide of the majority, or the flow of the majority. And I just remembered a quote by Walt Disney from many, many years ago, and he basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, if you want to be successful, look around and see what the world is doing and don't do it. If you want to be successful, look and see what the majority are doing and don't do it. In fact, Tony Robbins suggests doing the opposite is quite often a good strategy to get you started. Most builders either don't think they need, or don't think they can afford getting some help. And we have all sorts of different levels of help, starting at free. But there are paid levels of help. And if you think you can't afford it, my question to you is, why do we have members that have been with us? I think one of our members, the longest suffering members, starting his 16th year, been with us for 16 years, others 14, others 13. Many of the Builders Black Belt members. So these guys were with us before we were Builders Business Black Belt. Many of the people that started with us, Builders Business Black Belt, 7 years ago or something like that, are still with us now. Why? And they pay a fee to be a member of Black Belt. Why would they do that? They must be getting the value from that membership. Otherwise, they wouldn't hang around that long. So have a conversation with us. Like, jump on the website, book a call. If you go to the website, there are just, let's go to the website. There it is there. I'm not doing a takeaway. Well, this is the takeaway, really. There's scheduler call buttons all over the place. I've said it before, maybe you haven't heard me say it, but genuinely on a mission to change how the marketplace as a whole sees and respects builders. And one of our members won a couple of awards over in Western Australia just this week. Incredibly deserved. Amazing couple running a building business over there. They haven't been with us for all of that long, maybe a year or thereabouts, and it's been challenging, it's been a struggle, and they were awarded. And he made a speech about this sort of thing, that how they are changing how they present themselves, the processes, the procedures that they implement. It's all focused on changing the perception of the prospect and the customer about builders, and about getting rid of that unreliability and ripping off and all of the things that cause problems for a building business. If you change how you do your business, you'll change how your clients and your prospects see you, and that word starts to spread. And that's what we're just starting to notice now, that we're getting some comments coming back through our members that people are saying, we've heard that you charge for quotes, we've heard that you do this, we heard, and we don't see that a lot. And we've spoken to people who have been your customers and they can't speak of it highly enough, and they're saying all builders should do this. And so if you want to join the cause, start to change your business so your customers love you, are prepared to pay a premium for you, get rid of the tire kickers, the time wasters, all of that sort of stuff. Build a business that you really enjoy doing, that gives you time, that gives you money. We'd love to have a chat with you. So all you need to do is jump on the link that's in the comment section, wherever you're watching it. If you're watching on the blog on buildersbusinessblackbelt.com.au, there's a button underneath. If you're listening to the audio version, just jump on buildersbusinessblackbelt.com.au, and there's schedule a call buttons all over the place. It's just a short call to find out where you're at and where you want to go, because not everyone has the same problems and not everyone wants to go in the same direction. So we need to know what it is for you, and we can put you in the right direction very, very quickly to what you need to help you go in the direction that you want at a rate that is far, far quicker than you would imagine, and far, far, far quicker than you could ever do on your own, because you've got a business to run. And so, you've got to ask the question, and our coach always tells us this: ask the question who, not how. So instead of asking the internet or listening to these podcasts and trying to learn how to do things, you should be asking the question, who do I need to speak to get this done? Who's got everything all ready for me to speed the process up? That's us. We've been doing this for a long time. It's all proven. It works when it's implemented. And all we need to do is just have that conversation to kick it off, to point you in the right direction. And we'll find a direction that suits where you want to end up, but also suits your current situation as well. So it's not an impost time-wise or financially for you. You've already got enough stress. We don't want to add to it. We want to take it away. So let's get in a conversation. I hope this podcast has been valuable. I hope it's been enlightening. I hope it has challenged your thinking and get you to take some action and do some things a little bit differently. If you haven't already joined us on the Builders Business Success Forum, that's our Facebook group, get over there, answer a couple of questions, jump in, and you can start to go through the resources that are in that free group as well. Okay, that is it for this podcast. I hope it's got you thinking, and we'll be back again next week with another Builders Business Success podcast. I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. That is it. Have a fantastic week.